Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, thank you for your presence, thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoyed the couple of days that we talked about, I think, many things, the games, piracy, Hollywoods and Bollywoods, and the debates that also enriched the discussion. I would like to thank also the team here in 2454 and our partners. Thank you so much. I will make sure I list each one of them at the end of the speech, just to guarantee their presence in the future. Thank you. So, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Media Zone Authority, 2454, and everyone who has helped to make this year's Abu Dhabi Media Summit such a great success, thank you for being with us. In particular, I wish to convey my special thanks to Her Majesty Queen Rania Al Abdullah of Jordan. For granting us her presence to inaugurate our conference and share her vision and valuable insights. Her Majesty challenged us to tell us the real story of our rich, humane, and valuable culture and history. And in this light, I believe that the Abu Dhabi Media Summit is a clear example of how we are all helping to build a positive profile of the Arab world, especially with the excellent presentation from our speakers. We had 70 speakers this year. Again, thank you for each one of you. Thank you. And not also to forget the quality of each one of you, our delegates, and all the media and communications professionals who have helped make 2014 Abu Dhabi Media Summit such a valuable event. In my closing remarks, I wish to touch on a couple of the recurring themes of this conference. First, the title of our conference was Driving and Sustaining Future Media, and the word sustaining, highlight, sustaining, I think is probably one I might change in hindsight, as there are so many opportunities, with so many new media devices becoming connected and more people than ever being able to access personalized content wherever they are and however they wish. The challenge is not so much generating revenues and stopping a slide in print and linear media, but capturing all the opportunities that technology, companies, content providers, and social media are bringing. In fact, with 7 billion connected individual forecast for 2020, there is an argument that we, in this room, and the wider media and e-commerce industry may soon become the management of the world's largest and most relevant mall. And as our panel this morning explained, multi-intentional companies are eager to invest in new ideas wherever they may arise. The future is bright and within the grasp of young people in the Middle East and everywhere. When we think of Uthman Sultan, CEO of Do's Video, and the story of the first year of the 1-year-old, and the scientific evidence which Bobby Kotick referred to regarding improving cognitive abilities of youth from playing video games. The new generations are more than just digitally native. They have been digital from birth. They inspired me to think of the disruption of social media in creative ways. You will all remember the movie Cool Runnings, Jamaican Olympic bobsleigh team. I'm not sure if you all watch this game. The older generations, whom I must thank also, not that old, for providing us with security and opportunities that we can now enjoy. They may see themselves as the first rider in the slide. They started the momentum and jumped into relying upon younger and faster legs to accelerate to a winning time. But once they enter the sled, they lose control. They cannot slow down, and they most certainly cannot jump out. When it is the next generation's turn to accelerate us, we will already be going so fast, and I hope that at this point we have conquered our fears, as our roles at the front of the sled are critically important, because it is the front rider who controls the steering. It is the front rider that can see what is coming and sets the aerodynamic motion of those behind by moving their head one way or another. This weekend we're witnessing the Formula One, and you can see the head rider is the controller and is the winner. And I hope you will stay till the weekend of the Formula One also in Abu Dhabi. And if those in front can provide their experience and knowledge and skill, the result will be prosperity and also success for all. Having listened to all of you, certain words and phrases keep being repeated almost in every session. Quality of content, authenticity and transparency, speed, localization and personalization, protection of IP and prevalence of piracy, measurements to infinity, measurements and analytics, what we're lacking here in this market. And I wish one day we will have proper measurements tools that can elevate our market to a level that we all aspire to, culture and monetization. But to everyone who has said content was king, and I please ask that in the interest of equality, that the brand be the queen, especially as so many of our women are establishing successful businesses online. For women, the online world helps equal the playing field and to overcome obstacles in society. I am delighted to hear the initiative from Princess Amira Al-Tawil supporting emerging online businesses. And I was inspired by the story of Hong Hong and our growing media sisterhood. I do hope that the feminization of the internet may be the trend we will discuss in coming summits. There was also a great debate as to whether linear television will vanish, and I expect the debate will be repeated next year and the years to come. But one topic that wasn't raised was the potential for social media and technology companies also to fade. We didn't discuss, will social media fade? Will Twitter fade? Will Facebook fade? I have heard a lot of praise for Facebook these past few days, and it leads me to wonder, where was Google in our conversations? Please pass the message. However, I was very pleased to hear the view of Twitter yesterday afternoon, who offered a very positive approach to disruption and potential cannibalization by the future media and devices. And I would like to agree that with most things, media and is better word and a more positive outcome than or. It's not like linear or digital, linear and digital, traditional and digital. How and is more of a, that it creates an environment of collaboration, which will help drive new innovation. And I'm proud of our local companies for having such an open and positive attitude to investment and development. If I may emulate Twitter and say 2454 is hashtag BFF with and. Best friend forever, just in case. I was delighted to hear about the ethical decision-making for Sesame Street and our children entertainment colleagues. For us, Sesame Street / Iftah Ya Simsim is coming back to the region after 20 years of halt. We're going to see Nu'man again, and we're going to see Elmo with Nu'man. Encouraging the Middle East and other parts of the world to develop culturally relevant content instead of dubbing, and being careful in marketing to at-risk communities is to be congratulated. And also, that our audience has asked so many questions to our panelists, holding them accountable not only for their content, but for the impact of their content. Peer review and transparency is key. However, then I was thinking about social media. Here you get a one-size-fits-all technology which is targeted to youth without the outsider's point of view, the same ethical standards. SME gaming companies frequently advertise their latest apps with exciting messages or images that are designed to appeal to the youth inquisitives and rebellious natures. I recall a number of games promoted with a 15-character message, 18 plus only. And let us also think again about Her Majesty Queen Rania's opening remarks about the extremist groups hijacking the Arab and the Muslim and the humanity narrative. As we identify new business models and as revenues again being to flow after years of decline based posts, for example, there has never been a more pressing and urgent need for transparency in media and editorial decision-making. And this includes social media. We need to know not only why you are posting certain information, but also why you decide not to remove material that is 99.9% of the human population would call appalling. And I would also argue operating with Western standards or international law in emerging markets who have suffered a century of low education is not a reasonable way of marketing to at-risk customers. I commend the UAE's TRA for having implemented ethical marketing regulations for the telecoms industry here in the United Arab Emirates, and is an argument for the global industry to self-regulate a little more effectively, especially in emerging markets. I am motivated to tackle the remaining weak links in our ecosystem that may create obstacles to the success of our entrepreneurs. I take on board the comments from Chris Rogers about the need for a second-round VC industry, Ali Mustafa, who highlighted the lack of appropriate Arabic language movie planning and budgeting tools, and of course Ahmed Nasif, who believes that the region lacks depth in specific skill sets, especially in technical. This is not something 2454 can do alone, but we hear you and we will take this forward, and we truly believe in and in collaboration. Her Majesty Queen Rania also started our summit by asking a question, and I wish to pose a question or two to close it. Her question was, why are we here? The answer that I have come up with from attending these 3 days is that we are here to ask even more questions of ourselves and each other. I have thought of several questions to close this year conference, and I don't have the answer, but perhaps you might. With 4.5 billion still without access to connectivity, most in Africa, Asia, and Middle East, and gender inequality across the world, how do we efficiently activate more of the global brain? Also to help address our shared uncertainties and achieve our full human potential. Secondly, I see a two-tiered media environment is developing, with immersive and interactive media in the West. For example, New York Times, BBC Three, we have our partners CNN International, Sky News Arabia. But traditional print and linear television being sustained in emerging markets due to the society's low education, poverty, lack of experience with these technologies, and in developing them. With the trend, what steps must we take today to avoid another century of failure? If we aren't developing engineering or building our children won't be born digital, what impact will that have? There are sci-fi movies where aliens speak to each other through telepathy with Google Glasses, Oculus, or even Messenger. To people who have never used Facebook, it may appear that we are telepathic. And there are serious implications on quality of life of the divide, which have been highlighted by our telco partners in areas of health, agriculture, and education. And not only failure, but more missed opportunities. Without experience of these technologies, we will be consumers of content and services for years to come. And we don't want to just be consumers. We want to be part of that industry. Finally, with the great need to provide employment for millions of young people and women who are joining the job market every year, and those experienced professionals who have been restricted because of the digital and the mobile technologies, how do we ensure a sustainable and a growing pool of talent, both from the region to lead their own enterprise and with the required skills to fill positions from global leaders and for global leaders? And bring these young people and women into the workplace whilst balancing the honorable vocation of media professionals and journalism, maintaining the quality and authenticity of the message. And this is a message to our dear bloggers as well. With the commercial necessities of businesses, we need to provide education, and more than this, education that leads to gainful and ethical employment. Our youth are driving us forward with speed, vigor, and creativity, but they need our guidance to support now more than ever before. We need to listen to them, we need to involve them, we need to get them into the fold. It's not about waiting for them to graduate and work. We need to do it when they're 2 years old and beyond that. By guiding and mentoring and avoiding the temptation to control or to be overly restrictive, we can fulfill the potential of this generation and generations to come. These are just some of the questions that I will contemplate, and hopefully, by the time we meet again in 2015, we will have made progress to maybe identify some solutions and see where we stand. Ultimately, though, I hope we are all more conscious of why are we here, and that we will each take action to help promote a true Arab profile. And I'm very proud of our local film industry and the success of Ali Mustafa. The success of Ali Mustafa came from a collaboration that was between us, 2454 and Imagination. Rashid al-Harmoudi, Mansour, which is being developed at our Cartoon Network studios here in Abu Dhabi. Muhammad and Payman al-Awadi, Pita Planet, and how they have a show that is without content. They get the audience to select their content. As well as of our technology and media companies, Salat, Do, Imagination, Ubisoft, the TRA, and developing UAEpedia, Lemsa, Nebras, Plastic Labs, and all 2454 partners that you're going to hear more of their successful, hopefully, projects in the future. And I can see some smiling faces that want to be mentioned maybe next year. In conclusion, I wish to thank the research teams that have contributed to increasing the skills and knowledge of our regional media industry. I commend the excellent paper that has been prepared by Strategy and for the summit, and I commend each one of you in this industry to look at it and to look into the opportunities we have in this region, and especially with our youth. I also convey my gratitude to the broadcast and media companies that have made the Abu Dhabi Media Summit and the UAE their home. CNN, Al Arabiya, Sky News Arabiya, and Abu Dhabi Media Company, amongst others. And our corporate partners who have contributed so much in supporting this event: Mubadala, the TRA, Etihad Airways, Abu Dhabi Tourism, and Port Middle East. Thank you all. Please join me as well. Please join Plastic Labs and 2442. Please join today after this session. I would like you to join Plastic Labs and 2454. For the first time in the Abu Dhabi Media Summit, we decided, and I think it's about time, because we have the right partner, to conduct 2 interactive workshops on monetizing digital content and scaling online education in the Zambaq room and Yasmin B room at the end of the hall, started at 2 p.m. Do you want to leave or after the session? With all of your support, as well as the wise directions and strong leadership from the UAE and Abu Dhabi's government, the world can clearly see that the force is strong in the UAE and Abu Dhabi. Thank you, and I look forward to welcome you again in 2015. Thank you. I would like also to encourage our audience, if you have any comments, any constructive feedback, even if it's not constructive, even if you feel bad towards anything, just email us as contact@Abu Dhabi Media Summit. It's really important for us that the next version is a much better version than this year. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency Noura Al Kaabi. Thank you so much.
شكرا لسعادة نورا الكعبي على إدارتها وأيضا هذه الكلمة الختامية التي لخصت النجاح لهذه القمة.
Thank you to you all for being with us 3 days and wish to see you next year 2015 إن شاء الله.
نتمنى أن نلتقاكم إذن في قمة أبو ظبي الإعلام لعام 2015. استمتعنا بحضوركم. شكرا على حسن استماعكم ونلقاكم على خير بإذن الله.
Thank you so much.
شكرا.